Over the coming weeks, we can now take careful but deliberate steps to reopen our economy. Across the country, office lights will be turned on and windows thrown open. Work clothes and school uniforms will be pulled out of the wardrobe. Shops and factories will start to hum with activity. As we enter this new phase, things will change. Businesses will need to become COVID secure to protect staff and customers. We will all need to stay alert as we go about our daily lives. And, as Britain returns to work, we need to adapt the emergency programmes we put in place to bridge through the crisis. Because of those programmes, our economic prospects are better than they otherwise would have been. We have provided tens of billions of pounds of tax cuts, tax deferrals, cash grants and discounted loans for businesses, income protection for millions of the self-employed, a strengthened safety net to protect millions of our most vulnerable people, and our job retention scheme has now supported more than 1 million jobs and over 1 million businesses. No British government, Labour or Conservative, has ever done anything like this. I believe it has made a real difference. But as we reopen the economy, there is broad consensus across the political and economic spectrum. The furlough scheme cannot continue indefinitely. 2 weeks ago, I outlined the principles of my approach. The furlough scheme will remain open all the way until October. We will ask employers to start contributing, as we also introduce flexible furloughing. And employees will see no change to their level of support. As promised, I can provide more details today. I believe it is right, in the final phase of this 8-month scheme, to ask employers to contribute alongside the taxpayer towards the wages of their staff. But I understand too that businesses and employers have been through an incredibly difficult time. So I have decided to ask employers to pay only a modest contribution, introduced slowly over the coming months. In June and July, the scheme will continue as before, with no employer contribution at all. In August, the taxpayer contribution to people's wages will stay at 80%. Employers will only be asked to pay national insurance and employer pension contributions, which, for the average claim, account for just 5% of total employment costs. By September, employers will have had the opportunity to make any necessary changes to their workplaces and business practices. Only then, in the final 2 months of this 8-month scheme, will we ask employers to start paying towards people's wages. In September, taxpayers will pay 70% of the furlough grant, with employers contributing 10%. In October, taxpayers will pay 60% and employers will contribute 20%. Then, after 8 months of this extraordinary intervention, of the government stepping in to help pay people's wages, the scheme will close.